Welcome to Beyond the Wall. And this is my life story before, during, and after 20, 20 years plus years, 2 decades of incarceration. The objective is to take you on a journey with me to see what it's like readjusting to the real world after so many years of incarceration. I mean, it wasn't like wasn't in the real world. I mean, prison was more real at times than I would have liked it to be. But it was a drastic different as far as the environment goes. And yeah, you know, it's been a month to the day. I got out August 10th, 2022. Today is September 10th, 2022. And before I came home, I would hear from people that's been released or just back on violations, and they would tell me that, you know, it's going to shock your senses, that sometimes you're going to get overwhelmed with certain things. And yeah, some people stress out, some people have anxiety, and you might even suffer from PTSD. You know, all the smart people, the government, the researchers and stuff, they tell you that just being in prison 6 months, in jail 6 months, people have developed PTSD from that. So if somebody's suffering from PTSD after just 6 months of incarceration, can you imagine what someone like me and others that have spent decades of their lives in, you know, but I don't like to, somehow I feel like if I admit to suffering these things, these anxieties, these stress, being overwhelmed with the, the world out here, is that somehow I'm weak. So I hold a lot of my emotions in, and I hope, and even if I'm somewhere like, I told you before, one of the things that were kind of shocking to my senses was the colors. In prison, everything is pale. You know, khaki suit, white, gray, the pink, the unit, a pale blue. It's just subdued colors. I mean, I guess there's some scientific research that goes along with that stuff too, because they don't want to incite any type of emotions other than the ones that they want to project. And the thing they want to project is just a state of depression. You know, they keep the unit cold. We're locked down in our cells or whatever. During they keep the unit cold because I guess being cold, you just want to stay in your bed and under the covers. There's just a lot of things that they do that we complain about all the time because it doesn't make any sense to us, but it makes perfect sense to them. They're not new to this. They're not new to this. Prison is a big business, and they don't want, even though like in the environment that I'm in, there's a lot of violence almost every day, but they have little tactics and little things that they do to really bring your energy down. You know, Prison is a place full of condemned men. It's a miserable place. Yeah, I'm not sitting around moping and complaining all the time or whatnot. But if I sat down and let myself think about the reality that I'm in, it could easily send me into a state of depression. There's so many people that's come in that I've seen that couldn't cope being there, and they choose not to be there any longer by committing suicide or by just getting high or whatever. Just some way, somehow to escape their reality. You know, a week, Monday, I have another session with my therapist. You know, part of my probation is to see a psych. I guess they're supposed to evaluate me and see how I'm coping with my new environment, with the drastic change. Because, I never got to integrate myself slowly back into society. I was denied a halfway house. For whatever reason, I have no idea. They say after 10 years, you're supposed to get at least a year halfway house. They say this because they know that people need an adjustment period. It's just to feed them the real world bit by bit. I was denied that opportunity. I was just thrown into it. But I'm not mad about it. I'm mad I had to stay another freaking extra year because of whatever reason that I still don't know till this day. But, during my therapy session, my therapist or the lady that's evaluating me kept asking me, am I having any anxiety? Do I feel overwhelmed while I'm in public? What are my coping mechanism? What do I do, to relieve stress? And like, really, I don't know what she's talking about. And a part of me felt offended that when I kept telling her, hey, I'm good. I have a strong support system around me. She kept looking at me like as if I'm lying because, they say after 6 months, people, being incarcerated, people develop PTSD. People, have pick up tics and habits or anxieties and stuff. And maybe I have those things. Maybe I don't. I'm just not right now at this moment in time. When I was speaking to her, one, I don't trust her. I don't trust anybody that has anything to do with the system. And I don't think anybody that knows me and knows the situations I've been can fault me for that. Everything that I've been associated with the system is negative. So I don't know if she's really trying to help me or if she's trying to set me up. Oh, look at this guy. He has all these problems, this problem, this problem, that. And, next thing I know, I'm freaking strapped up in some type of crazy suit in a rubber room. I don't know. But I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't trust people. And and it's something that I'm trying to work out still because I know that people out here are not the same as people in there. Outside of your handful of close friends, the people who you trust to have your back, everybody else is a con. When they're having a conversation with you, there's an agenda behind it. Being in the environment for so long, I'm able to pick up on that because I become them. When I speak to people outside of my handful of close friends, I have an agenda too. In prison, we say there's 1,001 way to extort somebody. We call it press somebody. There's a soft press, the hard press. The soft press is you befriend somebody and you get, whatever it is that you're looking for from them, little bit, because you're pretending to be their friend. The hard press is, somebody coming in, pulling a knife on you and telling you, hey, this is what you owe me. I'm taking this. This is what you're going to pay me every month or whatever. And then there's different degrees to that along the way. And I've been guilty of all and everything in between. My wife, she always tells me that I'm a good person, that I'm a decent person. But sometimes I have trouble believing that, accepting that, because how can a good person do bad things? And yeah, I can justify it that I was in an environment where it was dog eat dog, and I did what I needed to do to survive. But still, when I sit here right now talking to you, thinking about it, there's a lot of things that I've done that I'm not proud of, that I don't like, that I was able to do those things, or that I was willing to do those things without a second thought. You know, I've hurt a lot of people. I've gotten myself in situations where the extreme that I took it to might have not been necessary. And I preyed on people. That's just the environment that you're in. It turns you to a monster in a way, you know. And when you see someone come in and they're not willing to fight for their livelihood, for whatever reason, a lot of people, when they're out here committing their crimes and stuff, they're not thinking about being locked up. They're not thinking that they're going to be in an environment where everybody's just waiting to pounce on them. Instead of me helping those individuals out, because they weren't bad people or nothing. They just, no one's built for prison, but some of us is better conditioned for it than others. I knew what to expect because I was out here running around wild and doing what I was doing, and I knew that prison was in my future, and I accepted that. And before they shipped me off, I made up my mind that I'm gonna do my time a certain way, that I'm gonna do my time the way I want to do it, live my life by my own rules. And for me to be able to do that, I have to insist on it by my actions and deeds. So, like I said, being a kid from Utah, out there, they don't we're not a big city, so they don't think there's any dudes worth of respect, worthy of their respect coming out here as far as that kind of life is concerned. And I'm a little guy. I'll just say 5'6". I fished in at 135, 140 pounds. So of course, there's gonna be people that's gonna approach me and think maybe my appearance, and judge me by my appearance, because I'm not walking around with my heart on my sleeve. I'm not talking loud, acting like I'm tough or nothing. I'm just there. And then they're gonna try you. They always try you. They try the biggest motherfuckers out there. I've seen the biggest dudes, 6'3", 200 something pound, get raped, get slapped around, get extorted. That's just the environment we in, because your size or whatever doesn't matter. So at the first opportunity when somebody tried me, I hurt that individual. And after I did that, I understood, hey, there's no middle ground here. You either got to be the predator or you got to be the victim. You got to be the monster that they've created, or you create, or you're not gonna make it, man. So I decided to become a monster. You know, there's people out here in the streets that heard about me while during the course of my incarceration. You know, when I call home to my family and friends and stuff, and they're like, "Man, what are you doing?" I'm not understanding the question because I'm just surviving. Yeah, I didn't have to do a lot of the things that I did, but what choice did I really have? You know, and you know, back to that, if I'm a good person or not, I can't say. Be, you know, my sister-in-law has questions about, you know, my history and whatnot, and she's always asking me, "Do you regret this? Do you regret that? Like, what if you took a left instead of a right?" And I told her I don't think like that because one, I can't undo anything that I've done. You know, what about remorse? What about feeling bad? Again, I don't think like that because having remorse, feeling bad, doesn't undo anything I've done. It's not gonna wipe the last 2.5 decades away. So why waste energy on that? But you know, she's you know, and through the course of our conversation, she's like, you know, normal people have remorse. Decent people have remorse and regret about certain things they've done in life. So again, me not having remorse, not having regret, and then when she pointed that out, it makes me questions myself, questions my sanity. And I don't know what it is. I just feel like instead of having remorse, instead of having regret, let's do something different. Let's do something better. And that's really the objective of all these programs that I'm putting out. Is just one, I guess it's a way for me to cope because being able to talk about these things that I've been through, I guess helps me deal with my situation. You know, unbeknownst to me, because I'm just thinking I'm trying to be a YouTube star or whatever. You know, I need the like and subscriptions or whatnot because that's what I've. But yeah, this is like therapeutic to me, and it helps me cope with my reality. You know, 2 weeks ago I had a session with my counselor that I've told you, and when she was asking me about anxiety and stress and being overwhelmed, again I was offended. But you know, those first 2 weeks, I've only spent time with my family, and when I'm around my family, it's just so wonderful and peaceful and loving that I'm not really observing myself as opposed, you know, if I'm stressed out, if I'm exhausted because I'm in a safe environment. But now that I'm working, now that I'm moving about and interacting with different people, you know, I work on a scaffolding crew at the University of Utah. After you've seen some of the videos, when we had take our lunch break, we go to the chow hall, University of Utah, and you see me posting it, but you would notice like I can't stop giggling or laughing or just whatever it is I'm doing, and I feel, and being sitting here now and being objective about it is just, that was my way of just dealing with the environment that I was in, because you know, during Chow, everybody's coming in, and it's just a lot of people, and I'm not panicking or having an anxiety attack or anything, but it was just a lot of people. And I guess one way for me to not panic and have anxiety over it is just to record it and do something with it, because I still have a habit of every time I sit down, I want my back to the wall. I'm always aware of every, my surroundings. Who's who? I know no one's out here trying to hurt me when I walk into a restaurant. I know I ain't got to worry about somebody picking up a fork or a butter knife and try to come and stab me. But I've seen it so many times in the chow hall, seen it so many times in the unit, and I've been conditioned to just be hypersensitive about my environment. One of the things, when I was having dinner at my mom's house one day, my mom, my dad, and we both made a plate, and they're talking, they're going back and forth, and before they even started their food, mine was gone already. I was already on my second serving, and my mom, she kind of giggled and she said, Mary, who is my sister, Marie, she was like, yeah, Marie said that you eat really fast. And I know I do that. And when it's pointed out to me, I feel kind of self-conscious about it, because these are things that I don't notice about myself because I've been accustomed to it for so long. But when I'm around people, I stick out like a sore thumb. You know, it's not anything that I'm saying or anything that I'm purposely doing. It's just my habits. Kind of like, I was in a public bathroom one time, and the door is wide open, and I'm sitting there urinating, and the guy comes in like, "Hey, what the hell is going? What the?" And I'm like, looking at him like, "What's the problem?" You know, I've been so broken down as far as like modesty. I don't know. There's no there's no privacy in prison, so I'm not used to being able to close my door when I want to. I'm not. Yeah, and some of that stuff frustrates me because I'm not conscious of it. And I made a recording. I was in my bathroom because I wanted people to let them know that, hey, I'm not getting up in the morning to work out, not because I'm lazy or I fell off. It's because I got food poisoning. And my wife was like, no, don't post it, don't post it, don't post it. But again, like, I have no awareness of, I don't want to say decency or privacy, because I've had no privacy for the last 25 years, and I've stopped expecting any of it. So I took it down. You guys can't see it no more. But I had a lot of comments like, "What the heck are you doing?" And it was just like, oh, maybe people don't want to see and know everything about your life, you know. But another part of it is like, in there, when you say something, you're supposed to be able to take it and run with it. Our word is our bond. I mean, there's plenty of people that lie and con all freaking day long, but I'm just talking about the handful of people. Like, they don't have to check your background or double check what you say, because there's no reason to lie to anyone. I've always told people, like, I don't have any reason to lie to you. Only cowards and pieces of shit lie. One, I'm not afraid of you, and two, I'm not a piece of shit. So what did I gotta lie to you about? You know? But out here I understand it's different, and maybe a lot of people don't know who I am. So when I say something, maybe they can't accept it on his face. And I was just trying to be like, hey, with that video, it was just like, I'm not gonna be able to beat up at 6 o'clock and work out with you guys because I've got food poisoning. But and that's one of the things that people always say, hey, no one worries about what other people think. The only thing you gotta worry, be concerned is about how you feel about yourself. That's a lie. That's not true. Because opinions of others is a reflection of who we are. If somebody tells you, if you got a lot of people saying, oh, you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, but you think you're a good person, you're probably not. Because if you were a decent person, a good person, then all these other people around you wouldn't be telling you that you're a piece of shit. When we do things, when we shake someone's hand, when somebody say, hey, that guy is trustworthy, those are our reputation. And our reputation is really built upon the opinion of others. So, in there, yeah, what other people think of us is valuable. Because really, they're our co-signer. Like, when I meet people, I don't go up and meet strangers, somebody off the bus. I don't talk to anybody new unless somebody that I've been friends with, have a rapport with, introduce me to them. If I'm not introduced to you by someone that I know and trust, I don't want nothing to do with you. Because you being introduced to me by someone I trust is telling me they have this person's stamp of approval. Because this person know not to introduce to me somebody that ain't the caliber of individuals that we're accustomed to dealing with. Because like I said, there's a whole lot of piece of shit behind the wall. And I'm not interested in having new friends. I'm not interested in meeting new people. And yeah, I don't go talk to anybody unless somebody say, hey man, let me introduce you to my friend. So when I get introduced to people, that individual knows the person that is introducing me and knows his reputation. And yeah, once I'm introduced to them by these individuals that they respect, they understand I'm this type of person. Because, the old saying, a bird of a feather flock together. Lions not going to run around with sheeps. Seagulls don't fly with eagles. Those are the saying that we say because you don't have to know who I am. Just look around me and look at the people that I associate with. That's going to tell you my story. But yeah, I appreciate everybody out there that's listening, watching. I appreciate your support and your love, and I want to take you on this journey with me. And sometimes it might be a little crazy, but thank you. It's Beyond the Wall. See you next time.